the Big 12 is in such a good spot from an expansion standpoint, and mostly because the ACC is on the verge of collapse, because the SEC is content, and because the Big 10 wants to be nerds. That's it. The Big 10 is the AAU status thing, that they have this educational Richter scale. If you're not smart enough, if you don't bring the house down from the X's and O's on the books Scantron standpoint, we're not taking you. And with that, the Big 12's in a great spot. Now, will they get Clemson and Florida State? Probably not. Let's be realistic. But you shoot for the stars, you land on the moon, and you're doing all right. I don't hate where the Big 12 is. And here's why I think the Big 12 is in such a great spot expansion-wise. The recent conversation about Washington State and Oregon State is a very big part of this. The reason why, for the Big 12, if ESPN is going to make a move like this, they would do it with the ACC if they feel more confident. The ACC, who already has two schools out of California in Stanford and Cal, would give them more money via Washington State and Oregon State. And they don't. If it's true, recently, I told you guys, I read an article recently that the Big 12, the ACC, it's flipped. That the ACC wants to poach schools, thinks it could poach schools from the Big 12. 10 of them is what this Twitter article thing said. And to me, my first thought is, that's stupid. My second thought is, good, you put in a lot of effort into building this, but wait a second, Bob. If ESPN wants to add Washington State and Oregon State, if these rumors are true, if these reports from sources are true, then that means the Big 12 is in a better spot than the ACC. And you go, no, that has nothing to do with it. But you're wrong. And here's why you're wrong if you say that. Because the ACC has the ACC network. And schools get revenue off of that network, for sure. This is like a subscription-based thing. And when somebody pays for what you pay for out of your pocket, ACC schools are going to see that, for sure. So, wait. If you added Washington State, who's one of the most valuable TV products in the entire Pac-12, if you added Oregon State, who's good at football, wouldn't they bring you more money? Wouldn't they bring you more revenue? Wouldn't they bring you more subscribers to the ACC network where those schools would make more money? So ESPN, who wants to make more money, would add them to the ACC? That's exactly what would happen. And it's not, the rumors aren't that those two schools are going there. If these people who have put a complete crutch on how the ACC, they're propping themselves up on the ACC network, then why wouldn't they keep adding fan bases? Why wouldn't they keep adding schools? Why wouldn't they keep adding the opportunity to get more subscribers and it's not just we added, South Florida, we added Memphis. We wanted to get their fan base to subscribe to the ACC network. No, Washington State is one of the most valuable TV properties above Utah, above Arizona State from the dead Pac-12. If the ACC network is what's going to keep them alive, they would have been out of that conference. I also, so there, the ACC, look, dude, it's like George Kliavkoff, we don't know, we're going to go shopping there. Your conference is dead. The ACC is in the same boat right now. Florida State, Clemson are leaving. ESPN in February of 2025, which is coming up, by the way, looking at the calendar right here, it's coming up. ESPN can opt out of the deal. They can just say, sorry. See you guys. Have fun with Amazon. Have fun with the CW. You and Gone Girl or Captain America or whatever goes on CW. That's not good. And the Big 12's in a better spot than they are, especially as they lose their top two members. And the Big 12 will poach from the ACC. Then there's the SEC. Greg Sankey comes out and says, we're good. Hey, hi. Never lied to you guys before. Good to see everybody at Media Days. We're good. We're fine. We don't really need Oregon State. We don't really need Washington State, obviously. We don't even really need Florida State or Clemson. And it doesn't look like the Big 12 is going to add Florida State or Clemson. That works for me. The Big 12 is probably not in a spot to add those two, but they're getting more desperate. And if they get desperate enough, hello, we'll take you for a couple of years. Add those two, add Washington State and Oregon State. Hello, 20. Want to go to 24? Louisville, Pitt, Miami, NC State, Duke, Georgia Tech, a lot on the table. Now, that's the SEC. They're holding out. They don't want any. The Big Ten's problem is they are nerds. One of my favorite, I don't think we understand how overvalued the educational aspect of college can be in the discussion of college athletics. And I know there are a lot of programs that put learning first, and there are a lot of athletes who put learning first. There are also a lot of athletes who don't put learning first, and universities who do the exact same thing. One of my favorite stories, I don't know if it's true. I hope it's true. Ryan Mallett, University of Arkansas. He walks in late. As the story goes, the late Ryan Mallett, who's great, walks into a lecture hall, and he reeks of like some grade A, Leaf stuff. You know what I'm saying? Walks into a lecture hall. That was for your 8-year-old son, by the way. He's in the car with you. He's listening. It's like, I'm going to keep it clean. He's got some Leaf stuff, sniffing. Gets in there, sits down in his seat. And he's late. It's an exam that day. He looks down at his paper, and he looks down. He's got his little note paper. And he goes, anybody, it's just like out loud, this 300-person lecture hall. Anybody got a Scantron for Ryan Mallett? And of course, it's Ryan Mallett, University of Arkansas quarterback. Somebody passed him a Scantron. 2 or 3 minutes go by. Silent. He's just kind of staring at it, lost. Then you hear out of the silence, hey, yo, anybody got a pencil for Ryan Mallett? And then somebody passes a pencil down to him. I get it. That's not every athlete. I don't want to box you into that. But the Big Ten wants you to be AAU certified or have the AAU thing. Well, they want you to be nerds to get in their conference. And guess what? The Big 12 couldn't give a rip because Ryan Mallett was a damn good quarterback, and he won a whole lot of games at Arkansas, and that's what we want is to win. The Big 12's in a great spot because the ACC is not, the SEC is done, and the Big Ten is too picky on Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team. It's every day. Today's show, it's brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is where I go when my rent is due. I say, FanDuel, please. I'm going to go to FanDuel, and I'm going to put a parlay together that says this guy hits a home run, this guy gets 5 strikeouts, the Baltimore Orioles are going to win. And then FanDuel says, sure, build that parlay. Let's see if it hits. And then when it does, I win money. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But I also kind of feel like right now they've stopped. Now, all I'm watching is the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals on ESPN. I'm also talking during those games on ESPN. And I need like a supplement of more sports. All customers, the boost or a bonus right now at FanDuel can get a boost or a bonus at FanDuel. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Make Major League Baseball even better with FanDuel. At FanDuel.com, start making the most of your summer. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the MLB. Visit FanDuel.com and do it today.